Yes, sir.
My name is John Aljusen. I just thought people ought to identify themselves. I think a lot of that energy tonight that you're seeing in Boston and in Massachusetts has also been generated from Tea Parties. I was just wondering if you have any thoughts about that, how to harness that, how to meet leaders, or how to bring those into the Republican Party to help energize our campaigns.
I have had a couple of conversations with some of the Tea Parties and share similar conservative fiscal views with them. Some of what I was saying earlier about smaller government, about reduction in taxes. They clearly are on that page. They want less government, and they want to bring spending under control. And we need to embrace the Tea Party folks relative to their fiscal conservatism. And I will have more meetings with them throughout the campaign.
Hi, I'm Dewey Losell, Westport. Since this is a political meeting, I kind of want to ask you just a pure political question. Thank you very much for everything you've done. I think your advertising, you've really taken the campaign to Dodd and Blumenthal already, and it's done great credit to the party. But here we're talking about electing a candidate tonight, and we're nominating a candidate. And I guess I'll just get to the core, hardcore ball question that people are worried about, is that there's a concern, and I will vote for you no matter what, okay, if you're the candidate. But people are concerned that the Democrats will do us fair or pale on you, and that you'll be attacked viciously and in a way that we can't even imagine yet. And that how will you defend that, and how will you be able to succeed and be, if you are the nominee, win in November? Thank you.
Well, for folks who know me, know that I'm not very shy and retiring. I pretty much have been described as getting up on my haunches when it was necessary to defend what I think are unfair attacks or even fair attacks if in fact someone disagrees with the position that I've held. When I began this campaign, I hired very good people around me as well, from a national representation standpoint, from a state representation, and from a local representation. And I believe that I have, a full specter of potential ways that I think Democrats are going to attack. Can I guess them all? Certainly not. But we will have, our information sources in place to counteract, I think, attacks, and we will constantly be forthright in what we say. What you see with me is what you get. I've not voted one way on one issue and then changed my vote. I've not said something one time and then said something different the next time. So I will be very straightforward, whether that is to my benefit or to my detriment. You'll always know where I stand on issues. And I will fund my campaign in a way that is necessary, I think, to counter any media attacks that will come. And make no mistake, I said this about Dodd, and I'm saying it about Blumenthal. He's Washington's guy. I mean, when Dodd retired and Blumenthal announced his retirement, and Attorney General Blumenthal announced that he would be entering the race, first person who called him was the President of the United States and said, I hope that you will be the next senator from the state of Connecticut. So we know that Washington and the Democratic machine is going to get behind Attorney General Blumenthal. Bring it. Way to the back, sir.
Speaking specifically to that, how do you plan to differentiate yourself against Attorney General Blumenthal?
Attorney General Blumenthal has had a long government career here in the state as Attorney General. I believe his politics are very much aligned with Senator Dodd's. He has in fact said that he supported Chris Dodd throughout his office and supported him up through the day that he announced his retirement. And so I believe you will see the same policies go into Washington under Attorney General Blumenthal that you saw under Chris Dodd in terms of the politics and the liberal Democratic voting that will go on. What I think we have to look at with Attorney General Blumenthal, and he's not ever had to address these issues before, are, yes, he's been effective as Attorney General in bringing a lot of lawsuits, representing often the little guy, as he puts it, and fighting for Connecticut. But he created, or contributed to creating, I believe, in this state, an adverse business position. He's created an environment that is not conducive to businesses either staying here or coming here. And that is because the high scrutiny, and not just high scrutiny, because no one's afraid of scrutiny if they're doing the job right, but I think often unnecessary lawsuits that have been filed. And we will unfold that, some of those issues as the campaign moves forward. So we'll really be looking at Attorney General Blumenthal's record. How does his record hold and stand? What has been the effect? Costs, people involved, et cetera. And that kind of scrutiny he hasn't had to face before. And I think the people of Connecticut, deserve to see all of the aspects of some of the results of those actions that he took. One more?
Is it a short question?
Short question.
Just one question.
Yes.
John Kuykendall. Appreciate you coming here tonight. You've talked a lot about lower taxes, smaller government, lower deficits. I think things that resonate with the people in the room. The reality is making those decisions in Washington is difficult to do. I'm interested in what specific thoughts you have around things you would propose to make a meaningful dent in the amount of money our government spends.
One of the things that I would want to look at, first of all, are tax reductions on small businesses. A few weeks ago in the Wall Street Journal, there was an article relative to just decreasing payroll tax. And now this has not been vetted through me or my organization, but I will share it with you. And that if payroll tax were reduced by 6%, 3 to 4 million more people would be put back to work in this country. I don't know that to be true, but that's certainly something we should look at, and we should vet it, we should have it scored to see if that's something that can work. I want to look at what the tax provisions are. The Bush tax cuts are going to expire at the end of this year. That's going to affect a lot of people in this room next year, if they're allowed to expire. There were tax cuts that expired at the first of this year that really haven't even been talked much about, that we are going to delineate and take a look at. But the Bush tax cuts, with capital gains potentially going from 15 to 20% or perhaps higher, they may only apply to those with a certain income level and be carved out for those who make less than $250,000 or $200,000, whichever way the Obama administration wants to go with it. So there are all of those kinds of issues that are going to come up, and we have to look at them as to how they impact us on a daily basis. So thank you again very, very much. I've enjoyed meeting with you, and I'll be happy to come back at any time. And my website is linda2010.com. If you have any questions or would like to check out what we're doing, please feel free. Thank you.